and Clay. Kicking it with Kay and Clay. Kicking it with Kay and Clay. Kicking it with Kay and Clay.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching or listening to Kicking It with Kay and Clay. It's your girl Kay Marie, and I have another. My hair is out of place. Ladies, don't you hate that? Okay, there we go. So it is Center Stage. It's a monthly feature that we do where we spotlight artists that you should know, that you may not know. An artist could be a filmmaker, it can be a poet, it can be a singer, it can be an actor, an actress, um, or an author. And we have an author today. And this is someone that I know quite well. We went to Bible school together, actually. So, without further ado, let me introduce today's guest. Addie Lee Hention is a native of Detroit, Michigan. She is a graduate of Davenport University, formerly Detroit College of Business, with a BA in Business Administration. Addie has written several blogs, and she has 2 devotionals entitled Midnight and Healing Oil. She had an internet blog talk radio show that ran from 2010 to 2012. She has also been a guest speaker on other internet radio shows and conference calls. Addie has used her social media platform to inspire, motivate, and encourage many people. Addie currently resides in Georgia with her husband Michael and their blended family. Together, they have 1 teenager and 5 adult children. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Addie Lee Hention. Hey, Addie.
Hey, Kay. It's nice
How-
to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And hello, everybody. How you doing?
So, like I mentioned a little bit before the intro, let people know that we went to Bible school together. Actually,
We did. Yes, we did. We met. Man, we met a long time ago.
long time ago.
Can you believe it? We still young though. We still young.
Yes, we are still young.
Yeah, we the class of 2000. Bible school
Double
class.
O, supernatural overflow, baby.
That's it. That's it.
And I remember one day, because when your children were smaller,
Mm-hmm.
and I just offered to, like, if you ever needed, some time off or just whatever, that I would watch your kids for you. And I remember I did. I took them to. We had an all night prayer,
Yeah.
and they were with me. And that's what we do.
Yeah. That's
We
what we look out for
support.
each other.
Yeah, we support one another, and that's why I wanted you. When I heard that you had written a book, I was like, "Oh, I have to get my classmate on here and promote her book."
Right.
So that's what we do.
Right. Right.
So your book, Highlight Reel, I like that title because some of my audience may know that I'm a huge movie buff. So for you to do like a movie type theme in your book, I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you do it like that?
Well, the title itself dropped in my spirit in October of 2018, and I'm not trying to be super spiritual by saying that, but it dropped in my spirit in October of 2018. So I just wrote the title down and I let it marinate. I didn't do anything with it right away. And then the subtitle, Living Life Genuine, Blessed, and Fearless, that came about after a couple deliberations with myself and God, as to how the subtitle should flow and blend in with the main title of the book, Highlight Reel. And, Highlight Reel is a feature. Me and my husband, we are movie buffs, especially my husband. He loves the movies. And right now we are hurting that we can't go to.
I know. Oh my gosh. Because, I know a lot of people, thank God for the the on demand. You can watch it from the house.
Right.
And I know people, I'm not gonna name names, that actually get like the bootleg and
Uh,
they watch it. I like going to the movies. I like that experience. I like going to the theaters.
right, right. And we like that experience as well. And
Hmm.
it's a good escape from the life,
Yeah.
take a break from the rat race.
Yeah.
Healthy escape that is. And we basically do movies that we can see with the family. And
Okay.
then we may have our date nights, but highlight reel is what you feature. It's a feature of a film. When you go to the movies, they show you the previews.
Hmm.
They let you know the highlights of what's going to be in that movie. They don't tell you the whole movie. They just give you some highlights, some
Hmm.
clips, and they whet your appetite. Well, highlight reel, when it comes to me and you as an individual, what we're doing is we are showing people what we want them to know about us,
Okay.
whether it's true or false,
Hmm.
whether it's good or bad. We are allowing people to see what we want them to see. And it's so important, and I talk about this in my book, to don't compare your highlight reel to someone
Mm.
else's, because girl, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
Girl, look, that's a word right there.
You don't know
Okay.
what's going on behind closed doors.
You don't.
Because I'm sitting here now, I'm looking at the front window of our home.
Hmm.
And actually, this is where I was sitting when I started writing my book. Because in the community that I live in, Kay, no house looks exactly alike.
Mm.
Every single one of these houses is different.
Okay.
Go out and I walk sometimes for exercise. The family will
Yeah.
go out and we'll walk after dinner. We done ate a big meal. Let's go walk
Yeah.
off. But if you walk through our community, every house is different. They're unique. And
Hmm.
that's how God made us. He made us unique. And some of these houses are very nice looking, but you don't know what's behind closed doors. You can look at their house and say, oh, that's a nice house, and they got 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, and look like it's sharp up in there. But it's the people that make that house a home.
Yes.
And so that's why it's so important that we don't compare our highlight reel to somebody else's. And it's important that that me, and anyone else listening to that broadcast, that we make sure that we are living our lives genuine, blessed, and fearless.
That's true, because even because we can go there with this, but
Yeah,
like even in the word, it's God tells us, warns us, don't compare yourself to someone else, because like you said, you don't know what somebody else is dealing with. You wishing that your life can be like somebody else. The grass is greener on the other side,
right,
but you don't know what type of hell they're going through.
right,
You don't know that.
right.
So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that's so true because, like, in the house that we live in and the property that our house is on, we're in a cul-de-sac. And that's something that I wanted as answered prayer. I got my cul-de-sac.
Mm-hmm.
And, our backyard is pretty big. And you can look at that and say, oh, that's so nice. But if you live here, you got to maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to either cut the front and the back lawn ourselves or pay somebody to do it. That takes work, that takes maintenance. So that's another reason why you shouldn't compare yourself to somebody else, because with that life comes the responsibility of having that life. Whether God blessed you with it or you made it happen for yourself,
Right.
to be quite frank about it, with some situations,
Right.
you have to maintain it. It takes work, So
So was there ever a point in your life where I know we all can be guilty of this, where you compared yourself to someone else's house?
oh, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I went through my season of being single,
Mm-hmm.
when me and you met, I was newly divorced. I think I had been divorced for, man, not even a year.
Oh wow.
We started Bible school together in '98,
Mm-hmm.
and I was newly divorced that year with two babies. And as the years went on, I would have people speak into my life and prophesy, "Oh, God gonna send your man.
Right, right,
He coming. He around the corner in
right.
40.
Your Boaz on his way, girl.
Touch your neighbor and say, my Boaz is on the way."
Right, right.
And it was so frustrating because you would look at other people's situations and they be done met somebody, got married. But guess what? I also saw situations where people got married and divorced in the same amount of time that I was still single. And I was single 17 years
Mhm.
before I met Michael and we started dating and then we got married. And that's a long time. So I was guilty of comparing and thinking something
Mhm.
was wrong with me and I wasn't good enough and I wasn't cute enough or whatever the
Mhm.
case may be, not realizing that I was just going through my process.
Mhm.
And like the saying goes, what God has for you is for you.
It's for you.
Mm,
Right. I'm like you too, because I was saying, because I was, for me, I'm real picky, because I told my prayer like back in '96. I said, Lord, look, if it is for me, I said I don't want to go with this one and that one, and that don't work out. This one and that one. I
right,
said I want to date my mate. I mean, I've dated a few people, but it wasn't, I didn't want to have like that long track record, heartbreak after heartbreak. And like you said, I've seen like some people I know, they're on their second marriage. I'm like, well, dang, daddy, can I get one? Can
right,
I get my first one?
right, 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 right.
But like you said, though, it's, what he has for you is for you.
Mm-hmm.
So with your book, I know it's very it's inspirational. So for people who, let's say, may not be in the church, why should they go out and grab this book?
The book is real, relatable, and it's genuine. I did my best not to make that book deep and super spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to touch the heart of a person. I wanted it to be a book that anybody can pick up and read. And yes, there's going to be a few scriptures in there, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to talk about God because that's the basis of my
Mm-hmm.
faith. In Him I live, move, and have my being.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was very intentional, and actually, it was on my heart to be very intentional that the book was easy to read, that it was relatable, that it was raw in some cases. Like in one part of the book, I mentioned the altercation I had with my first boyfriend back in the day.
Mm.
We were going at it, and I don't even remember what we were fussing about. But he grabbed me and threw me up against the wall around the neck,
Mm.
and he was just ready to choke me. I guess I got on his nerves. I don't know what we were fussing about, but all of a sudden he just let me go like he's seen a ghost.
Mm.
And I didn't mention this part in the book, but he walked outside of his folks' house, went in the backyard, sat on a picnic bench, and started drinking a 40 ounce. You know, and I mentioned that because when I first started writing the book, I was being a little, what you call it, bougie. And
Yeah.
the Lord said, don't be cute.
Yeah.
Tell the story. Be real. Stop trying to be cute. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's a book that a believer and a non-believer, a Christian and a non-Christian can read. A person who already has faith, it'll encourage them in their faith, in their walk with God. It'll help them to have a better relationship with themselves because as you read through the book, I'm actually highlighting my own personal struggles and
Mm.
the relationship that I had with myself that really needed to be improved. And so to the non believer, they'll look at that and say, hey, yes, I can live a life that's genuine, blessed, and fearless.
Mm-hmm.
I can be happy being uniquely me and being the person that God has called me to be. And as a matter of fact, from reading Addie's book, let me check out a relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not about religion, it's about a relationship.
That's true. And without giving, away too much in the books, I'm sure you put this in there. So what were some of the things you can just lightly touch on, or if it's something that's not in the book? Because you mentioned that it was some things that, God had to work with you on. So what were some of those things?
The one thing was loving myself.
Mm,
You know, I had self hatred, believe it or not. You know, you looked at me on the outside, oh, she just smiling, she
mm-hmm,
happy. And for the most part, I was. But I had this darkness on the inside of me that I fought with for many years, like this stigma I kept fighting with. And you know, there's a part in the Bible where the Apostle Paul talked about when I would do right, I can't.
mm-hmm.
When I want to do right, there's something fighting me. You know, the
Yeah.
spirit and the flesh are warring against each other. And I don't know exactly what his battle was, but mine was dealing with, you know, self hatred. I may have made myself look good on the outside
Mm-hmm,
and put on the smile, and I did what I had to do. But I struggled with my image. I
mm-hmm,
struggled with identity. I struggled with having genuine peace with myself. And I would go through these changes of trying to fit into a mold that really wasn't me,
mm-hmm.
you know, and trying to be somebody who I wasn't to make other people think that I was okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I struggled with that and just putting myself down, you know, oh, I don't like the way I look. I don't like, you know, my skin and this, that, and the other. God don't make mistakes. The
Exactly.
shape of your nose, your eyes, your lips, your skin tone, the amount of hair that you have,
Mhm.
you know, the grayness in your hair even. That's all by God's design. Now you can do things to make yourself look better, you know, cosmetically and everything like that, and get you a wardrobe to enhance yourself. But
Mhm.
your basic features, God made them, and that's no mistake, you know. So I had to learn to love myself, to stop hating on myself, and I would attract people in my life, Kalani, who were a reflection of how I saw myself. Because if you don't
Mm.
love yourself, then you attract crazy people.
Yeah.
You do, and I would wonder why am I attracting these type of people into my life? It's because my relationship with myself, in turn, with my relationship with God needed a makeover. It needed a makeover. So,
And see, and that's a self-image, and that's something that a lot of people can relate to.
mhm,
Um, because you know, with society, all you see is society's views of what beautiful is.
right,
You know, even for like for Black women, you know, we when I say we, I'm just speaking as a whole. We want to be that chick, you know, with the big behind, looking like,
right,
you know, these people that you see online. Because you have our little girls thinking like that's what guys like. Number one, you should you shouldn't be worrying about what a guy might like, so he may like you. He should like you for you, you
mhm,
know. But it's a lot of girls and young men and even into adulthood that struggle with self-image. So I think that's a good issue and topic to talk about and bring to the forefront.
mhm.
So what were some of the things that got you to the place was like, you know, your self-image was like on point.
Realizing that God loves me, you know, He loves you, and to anybody in the listener audience, God loves you as you are. You know, people may not be able to accept you the way you are. And when people are quick to reject us, in a way, they're being hypocritical
Mm-hmm.
because none of us come out the womb being on the jam, having it all
Right,
together.
right,
You know, ta-da!
right.
You know, but none of us come out the womb having it all together with our 401k plan and all that stuff. You don't have all that. That stuff you have to come into as you grow and become who you are, you know, and who you're meant to be. And I had to realize that God loves me. He
Mhm.
loves just me, but he also loved me enough not to leave me as I was,
Yes.
you know, and he loved me enough to allow me to walk through some personal development, some to lead me into situations and into the places of right people, right place, right time to help uh, develop my self esteem, to help me to blossom, to help me to flourish,
Mhm.
to be the woman who you see today. And I'm
Mhm.
still
Mhm.
becoming because you don't arrive.
Right.
You just become a better version of yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. Now, I'm sure this is in the book too, so you don't have to get too much. So, where did you meet Michael?
Oh, you know what? That's not in the book. That's going to be
Oh,
my
okay.
next
Let's
book.
chat then. You
That's
said
going
that's
to
in your
be
name.
my next book because I am going to write a book on relationships, and it's not going to be one where I'm going to be preaching to people. It's going to be
Mhm.
one where I'm encouraging people.
Okay.
And again, I'm going to be walking you through some of my ups and downs, my highs and lows, and the wisdom gained and lessons learned, in my journey of singleness, being married the first time, being
Mhm.
divorced, being single for a long time, and then eventually meeting Michael. But I'm not ashamed to say it. I met him online.
Okay.
I met him online. And at first, that seemed uh, to go against the grain of
Mhm.
how we were raised in the faith, if you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, respectfully. So, and but the Lord put it on my heart. You need to sign up for this website. I went to one, it just didn't feel right, so I went to another one and I signed up. And I met Michael in less than 30 days. He was the first and only man
Mm.
I went out on a date with. We went out on our date and we've been inseparable ever since.
But you know what? Online, I've know of people, and I know some people personally who that's what they did, and they're been married for a very long time. Have kids and everything. So that's just another avenue.
It's an avenue. You're not demeaning yourself as a woman or as a
Mhm.
man, especially women. Women, especially, we get beat up if when we do stuff like that. Oh, that's not a guy. That's not a virtuous woman. You don't
Mhm.
do stuff like that. As a matter of fact, one of our classmates met her husband online.
Okay.
She mentioned it in her book, but that's an avenue. That's
Yeah.
to meet other singles, especially if you don't do a lot of going out to
Exactly.
concerts and sporting events. Well, right now we can't do none of that.
Right.
If you don't do a lot of church conferences and all that stuff, how you gonna meet somebody?
Right.
What you gonna do? Hope the FedEx guy and the Amazon man or whatever is the one.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just another
yeah.
avenue. That's
It's,
it.
it's just another avenue. You just
Mhm.
carry yourself appropriately, respectfully. If somebody come across you that's crazy, you don't have to have a conversation with them.
Right. I mean, 'cause you can meet somebody crazy, face to face. So
That's it. That's it. And I have. Well, I have met
right, right, right.
face to face. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so before we go any further, so I have your contact information on the screen here, and those who are listening, if you want to go, and I really suggest that you do because the book is very inspirational. Addie, I can vouch for her. She knows what she's talking about. She's very good and anointed at what she do. So this book will bless your life. So you can her Facebook page is Highlight Reel Facebook page, and she has a YouTube channel, Addie Lee Hention, Living Genuine, Blessed and Fearless. And if you want to contact her, you can email her at real life expressions, the number one, at gmail.com. So, Addie, take us through your writing process because I know my people going to be tired hearing me saying this, but whatever. Because I'm a writer myself, I have to get back into it, but I've been writing since I was little. And I know everybody's process is different. So, what was your process of writing your book?
Um, I've been doing a lot of journaling for years. Back when me and you met, I was journaling back then. I have like notebooks right now in the house where I would just write down my thoughts, my feelings, or something that God spoke to my heart. I would
Mhm.
just write it down. And it's something how you go back and look at those journals and see how you've grown and
Mhm.
developed. And certain things you'll be like, I wrote that. What was I going through? What was the matter with me? Or on the other end, that was a good word.
Mhm.
And you see your process along the way. In 2004, I think it was, I started my online blogs, Midnight Oil and Healing Oil.
Mhm.
And that's back when AOL was
Oh,
still popping.
right.
You would open up your computer and you would turn it on and you would hear, you got mail.
Yes.
You
Oh,
know,
and then the dial-up
yeah, yeah, yeah,
sound. Oh
yeah,
Lord.
yeah.
And
So
some of you millennials don't know nothing about
they
that.
don't know that. If they not under 25, they don't know what that is.
Right.
But I had signed up for a site called injesus.com, and in that site you can post your own devotionals. You can name them, post your own devotionals, and get subscribers. And both of them had got up to over 100 subscribers. That I had people who were reading what I posted. I would put something out there every other day or maybe once a week on Midnight Oil and Healing Oil. And the Midnight Oil was the inspiration for if you were feeling restless, if you were struggling with issues and, struggling with depression, whatever the case may be, then if you happen to be up in the middle of the night, you can click on my blog and get you a word. And not to mention that same word that I wrote for other people, it was for me.
Mhm. Mhm.
What you think you're writing for somebody else is actually for you first.
Mhm. Most of the case first
In
is for
most
you.
cases, it ministered to me. It kept my sanity. It kept me on solid ground. And the same thing with the healing oil. It kept me encouraged. It helped me to keep going on as I ministered to other people. And I actually tried to write a book in 2011, I think it was. I got to chapter 5 and I couldn't get no further.
Mhm.
And my ex mother in law, who I'm still friends with,
Mhm.
and she's a great grandmother to my two older children, she said to me, Addie, maybe God is still doing the work in you, and that's why you can't finish it.
Mm.
That's why you can't go no further. So that was in 2011. So fast forward, we get in 2009. I decided to sign up for a writer's workshop, a writing and publishing's workshop. It was being held at World Changers
Okay.
here in Atlanta. And so I signed up for it. It was a workshop that met for about maybe 8 weeks on the weekend. And so I attended and learned some tips and tricks about, I hate to use that word trick, but some
Right.
tips and wisdom, that's a better word, on writing and how to captivate your audience.
Mhm.
And then to go from the writing and publishing side to the marketing and branding side, which is where I am right now. And that's a different horse, a horse of a different color.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you learn a lot. You really do. You learn a lot. And some things you might learn through trial and error, but that's how we grow, you know. Um, but I went to that class and it inspired me to, first of all, have a vision for the book. Don't just write the book. Start writing, have a vision for the book. Who is your target audience? Who are you trying to reach?
Mhm.
What are you trying to accomplish? What is the purpose? You know, what is the end result of that book going to be? What else would you like to come out of it? Is it a devotional? Is it journals?
Mhm.
Is it a workbook? You know, and of course other books to follow. What is your vision? So that really challenged me, and I said, a vision. So I actually got me a notebook, a regular me notebook that you get at Walmart or
Mhm.
Office Depot or Staples, and I started writing out my vision for the book. I laid out my chapters, I laid out my subtitles for the chapters in the book, and jotted things down as they came to me. I got me some pictures and I printed them offline. I printed them and I put them in the book to help me with my vision of what I was trying to accomplish and where I wanted to go. And, recently I became Amazon's.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead and I don't want to say gloat, but just
Yeah,
tell your testimony.
yeah, yeah. So, Amazon best-selling author for hot new releases, but I had that in that vision book.
Okay.
Yeah, I had best-selling author in my vision book for the book, and I actually had it in another journal that I would be a best-selling author. And I think I have it on a vision board that me and my husband have in our bedroom.
Okay.
And so I've spoken into existence.
Yes.
I've spoken into existence.
Yeah.
And first of all, it's only by the grace of God, not because I'm so gifted and so talented. Yes, I have my gift, talent, and ability, but first of all, it's by the grace of God. Because if God don't send the rain and He don't send the sunshine, you're not going to go any further.
That's right.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you heard that, y'all. She is Amazon's top 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you said that to me.
Yeah.
Yep, over this weekend. I was like, okay, now. So somebody listening was like, okay, so I want to go ahead and get this book. Can you let them know where they can get it?
Okay, they can purchase the book on Amazon. It's on Kindle. It's also on Books a Million and Barnes and Noble online. You just click in the word highlight reel. Now on Amazon, you got to be more specific and put in books. And then from there, you can type in highlight reel or type in my name, Addie Lee Hention, and the book will come out and you can purchase it and it'll come to you. Now, I do have some people who prefer to have a signed copy from me. And I would say if you want to have a copy that's signed by me, along with one of these little wristbands that I have here.
Oh, what does it say?
It says highlight reel.
Oh.
And then on the other side, genuine, blessed, and fearless.
Okay. So the title of the book.
The title of the book.
Okay.
So I would say they can email me to request a book at reallifeexpressions1@gmail.com. And
that's the number one, y'all. Real life expressions number 1 at gmail.com.
At gmail.com to request a paperback copy with my signature and wristbands and a bookmark. And I'll get it out to them.
That sounds good. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who are listening to, this would be a great book. As I'm, sitting here listening to Addie, this would be a great book for book clubs. Yeah, to discuss in your book club, because it's how long is it? It's not that long, right?
It's not that long. It's about 150 some odd pages.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short read, but it's a good read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I read it myself, and I'm like, "Ooh, who wrote that?"
Okay, Steph. Okay. Oh man, because I might, I'm gonna suggest this I'm in a book club. I kind of fell off a little bit, but I am in it still. Keela, don't laugh at me. So we can probably read this in our book club one of these months coming up. Mm-hmm. And I know that because we always, of course, with book clubs, how we do is we read, assigned chapters, and then it's an online book club. So you guys, it's called Bright Minds Book Club on Facebook. So if you want to subscribe, those who are listening, that'll be good, because we talk about the chapters like on a specific days. And we, this is what it means to us, and we have great conversations online.
Mm-hmm.
So this is definitely a great book club read for you fellow book clubbers that are out there. So before we wrap up, Addie, give us just something that is kind of in the book that you want to leave us with.
I want to leave everybody with this. Your life is not a period, it's a comma. So many times people will put a period
Mm,
where God does not have a period. If you're living in a situation, if your life is at a place where it is not where you want it to be, it's not the end. Your life is to be continued. And that's how I describe myself in the latter part of the book, to be continued. If you're looking at this video and you're watching me and Kalani have this conversation, your life is to be continued. I just encourage anybody to pray, talk to God, um, be real with him. Because I feel like if I can't be real with him, who can I be real with? He
right.
knows us anyway.
Yep.
He sees us 24/7, whether we
Hmm.
want to see him or not, even when we're trying to hide from him.
Hmm.
So, so be real with him, be honest with him. It's okay to say, I don't like my life. It's okay to say that. I don't like my life. I don't like being single. I wish I had a better situation, because it's from that place of honesty that God can work with, and the process of transformation can begin for you to say, okay, God, take my life and help my life to become what it should be. Order my steps and to the place of blessing, honor, and prosperity. That's for me. Ask God to enlarge your territory, to protect you from harm, to bless you indeed. Ask Him to favor you. You know, I am a witness that God can transform a life.
Yes.
He can transform a life. I pretty much grew up in a good home. My home wasn't perfect. It had its dysfunction. You know, my life had its dysfunction. But I am a witness that God can change and transform a life if you trust Him with your life. And people may look at you now and shake your head, because I've had situations where I was almost homeless twice.
Mm.
I went through a divorce back in the day, and had sicknesses. Almost checked out of here a couple times,
And
premature.
raising your kids by
Yeah,
yourself,
raising my
right?
kids
Yeah.
by myself, and I'm still here by the grace of God.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here today only by the grace of God. And people may look at you and shake their heads at you. I've had folks do that to me, shake their heads at me and say, look at her. She ain't gonna be nothing. How she let herself get like that. And I've learned not to be judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a judgmental saint. I'm not gonna lie. I was for a minute. And then when I went through some stuff myself,
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop that foolishness,
Mm-hmm.
and say, I don't know their situation.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're going through something that they put themselves through, it's still not my place to judge. And then maybe they're walking through a storm, a process that God has them walking through. So your life is not a period, it's a comma.
Mm.
It's to be continued.
To be continued.
Mhm.
Well, you heard that, you guys. Again, this book is, like you said, it's an easy read, but it's so much meat and potatoes in there. I'm hungry. I think that's why I'm using the food analogies. But yeah, just grab this book. It will bless your life. I know it's people out there that's listening to this podcast. You're either listening to it or you're watching it. And if you get that feeling in your gut, like, you know what she said, I can relate to, and I don't want to go through my life the way that it is right now. So you can go ahead and grab this book. This book is for you.
Mhm.
Or if you know someone who might benefit from this book, buy it for them. Buy it as gifts. Give it as gifts. Like she was saying, even though it's a spiritual book, but it's not like really preachy. And I know some people like, I want to be preached at. It's coming from a place where, like, it's just like we're talking right now, and how we're lifting and edifying one another. It's just like that. So go ahead and go to Amazon, Barnes and Noble, online, Books a Million, and grab this book. Okay. Addie, I want to thank you so much for coming on here because we don't want to give the whole book away.
No.
A little tidbit.
You gotta read the book. Read the book. You gotta read the book, babies.
No free lunches over here. You get a little snack.
Right. Just a little snack.
So everyone, thank you. Again, thank you, Addie, for taking time and writing this wonderful book. Again, we're going to read it in my I'm gonna suggest it in our book club. And everyone, thank you so much again for joining us for another episode of Center Stage. And we have another episode of Center Stage. It's a monthly feature again next month. And I just did that interview yesterday. Okay. So it's with the Detroit owned. She's a young filmmaker. So you want to check that out. Okay. So everyone, I'm gonna have Addie's information on our Facebook page, and it's going to be a link to her information on our Facebook page, and you'll be able to watch this and share it with people, because this was good. Even though it's like 41 minutes, it was some good stuff in here, and I know it will bless someone. Okay, so Addie, don't click off just yet. As I close out, everyone, thank you again. And thank you for watching Kicking It with K. Marie. Okay. And I will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Kicking It with K and Clay. Kicking It with K and Clay. Kicking It with K and Clay.